Welcome to the Bodaciously Awesome Family Show. Bodaciously Awesome Family Show. The only show dedicated to helping parents maximize their kids' experiences and for kids to reap the fun. Here are your hosts, the Bodacious family, Adam, Anthony, and Zachary.
Welcome. Welcome back to the Bodaciously
Awesome
Family
Show!
Nice. Zach's controlling the mic today, so we have all Zach as our audio engineer. So go, Zach. I really hope this turns out well.
Hello.
Oh, Lord, we are in trouble.
Hey, that's not very nice. And I am your host, Zacho.
I am your other host, Adam, or Dad.
Co-host.
Zacho, that is the name that your friends give you, right?
Yep, ever since 3rd grade.
DK did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but you can't call him Zach.
I need your host name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chantel.
Okay. And today, where are we today?
Well, we're still at home today. We didn't really travel far. We went to a friend's house.
Yeah, we went to a friend's house to
Mr. Justin's house and Miss Lisa's house.
To
Bradenton, or to where they're from. Parish. Parish.
I don't think you guys are getting my hint.
We don't.
To make.
But you're asking us where we are. Where we are and what we did are two very different questions.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay, what we did. We made
pasta! I love pasta. Pasta's so good.
Yeah. Now, before you say this episode's about making pasta, do not knock it until you've tried it.
Well, first of all, I want to showcase here Zachary's energy level today is kind of off the chart. This is good. I like it. You go, man.
That's because it's raining and soccer practice was canceled.
So extra energy tonight.
He's got energy to burn.
All right. So we're here. So we had this idea with some friends of ours to make pasta. And when we say make pasta, Zach, are we talking about like general old, I bought a box of pasta in the grocery store and I'm putting it in some water?
No, because today we are making those noodles. They will be fresh and not hard.
That's right. We are making from scratch, from actual flour and egg. We are actually taking the creation of the earth and we are making it and molding it into the most wonderful meal in the world.
It was also the best pasta I've ever tasted. Sorry, Royal Caribbean cruise ship. This was better.
And it's better than Maggiano's too, right?
Oh yeah.
It was better than all the pastas.
Period.
So this gets started with our neighbors who bought during the pandemic. They bought a pasta maker because they're going to make pasta all the time. They told us, even so much so that they gave us the box pasta in their house that quote. They don't need anymore because they're only going to make fresh pasta.
Yeah, I inherited like 10 boxes of spaghetti.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah. Well, you've already eaten it all. But and so oddly, I know everyone's going to be shocked that pasta maker sat unused in our neighbor's house.
Yes, in the pantry of useless appliances,
which we have many of them. And then we discovered another friend of ours had done the same thing, albeit they didn't actually give us all their old pasta. So, when we discovered that these two friends had both had pasta makers they bought during pandemic, and neither wanted to use them, we decided to have a pasta making extravaganza. And we all kind of did it as a little bit of a joke because they hadn't used their pasta maker. But the joke kind of on us. Zach, what happened?
We actually made pasta. I made my own spaghetti. I fed for the family.
You did. It's like you hunted and gathered.
You provided.
I provided for the family. I sat like 5 people happy eating their meals.
That's true. So, Zach, the question is, like, now we'll explain how the pasta making process happens. Before I do that, though, or before you do that, before we went there, I assumed it was really, really complex. I don't think it really was. Before we went, did you think this was going to be easy, or did you think this would be hard?
Medium. I thought it was going to be a little on the hard side because, like, fresh dough, I don't know how to make that. There's just a lot of steps, but it was easier for what I thought it was going to be. But it's not, like, super easy, but it's not, like, try hard.
Well, here's the thing. And what you should do with everything that you're not sure about, go on to YouTube and look it up.
Yeah, we did that, and we saw some videos, made it very, very easy to understand what to do. And it is a little time-consuming, but it definitely wasn't hard. Second question then, Zach, is before we went, your expectation of how it would taste versus how good it was. Do you think that you expected it to be that good, or did you expect it to be better or worse than what we got?
I honestly didn't know that we were having a pasta party, so that happened.
But you know what? Our hostess Lisa called it was the party was called Pool Noodles because she has a pool, and we spent some time in the pool, and then we went inside and we made noodles.
I didn't know it was called Pool Noodles. That's a great name.
The party was called Pool Noodles.
So once you learned we were making pasta, what did you think that it would be tasty, or were you kind of scared? Were you like kind of hoping there was some pizza at home or something that you can have later?
I kind of was, but I didn't have any doubts. It's pasta, so.
And pasta is your favorite food.
No, not even close.
Pasta is the food you eat the most often of any other food in the planet.
What's your favorite food? California rolls?
California, it's
pizza.
Sushi, pizza, steak.
No, okay.
No.
Chimichurri.
Okay, but homemade pasta is now up there now too, right?
Fifth.
All right. So Zach, do you remember how we made? So what were the steps in making the pasta?
So 1, we get out the thing from out of the box.
We get the thing from out of the box. Okay, step
2.
1.
Wait. And wipe off the dust.
Oh yeah, and wipe off the dust. And wipe off the counter. Step number 2.
And take off like that Merry Christmas 2002 banner that's on there or whatever.
And then we we get eggs and flour, lots of flour. And one we blended and one we did like eggs in like a mountain. That turned out a little worse, but it was way easier just to blend it. And then we mushed it up. Step 3, we mushed it up with our hands. Then step 4, we shoved it in the freezer for 10 minutes.
What did you do with it after you mushed it up? You rolled it into a
ball.
There.
And then we shoved it in the freezer. And then what step was I on?
4.
4. And then step 5, you take it out of the freezer. Step 6, you use the cranker, you put it in the machine and like crank it. And then like it becomes individually smaller and thinner. I meant not smaller.
Thinner.
Can I use that word to describe? When you put it in a piece of the dough into the machine and you crank
the cranker,
it comes out looking like a big lasagna noodle.
Mhm. And then you put it in the other thing, like you can move the gear, and then it has like the original pasta, angel hair, and
cutter,
and linguine.
Linguine. Yeah, it cuts the big piece that looks like lasagna. You have to roll it through several times to make it nice and thin enough where you can see your hand on the back side. And then you use the attachment to actually cut it into noodles. So we ended up with thin spaghetti, like almost like angel hair consistency. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
It was
so good.
really good.
So, okay. I gotta say, Zach, that was actually a very good explanation of what happened. And I love the idea of the cranker. But it was that easy. And you even got like the ingredients right. Like you didn't miss anything. It was just flour and eggs. We beat it together. We did one in a blender or one in a just by hand.
Mixer.
Yeah, one in the mixer. And one by hand. And then you let the dough rest. You put it in a ball, let it rest. And then we cut it in half and then in thirds. We cut it so each ball of dough became 3 blocks of pasta. And each one we went through the cranker. And the cranker was almost like a press. And every time you'd go through it, it got thinner and thinner to make that big, long lasagna-like noodle. And what was so cool about it is that was it. Like, it was really easy. It was effectively, and this may be more understandable for people that haven't done this, it was like playing with Play-Doh in the Play-Doh factory.
That is true.
Yes, that is very true. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, like if you ever had like the Play-Doh factory and like had the crank and it had like you put Play-Doh in and it had like little shapes you press down on the little thing and it would like spit out like almost like a noodle, star noodle or whatever. That's what this was. It was literally that easy.
Yeah, and it didn't taste as bad as dog food, as we call it, coming up in a next podcast or whenever we're posting it. But you guys don't miss that one. That one's really good.
Oh yeah, that's on our strange food ones. Well, that I don't know when that's gonna air either. It may have already aired. But yeah, that was the dog food was interesting. But about the non-dog food.
Make sure to listen, guys.
Yeah, on this one, the pasta was turned out incredible. Now, let's be honest. Did we make any mistakes?
Yes.
Do you remember what the mistake was, or what mistake we made?
we put it all in the same time and they formed together?
Yeah, so we made these noodles. We made the spaghetti, the linguine, and the angel hair, and we put it. And you're supposed to put it down kind of damp rags, so it stays a little damp. So we did that, but then we did another batch, and another batch, and another batch, and another batch, and we just kind of piled it all on top of each other, so that like 10 minutes later it all dried basically together. And we then had to effectively re-ball it up as dough and then re-press it all and re-cut it all. So we had to do it twice.
Yeah, so I would say probably if you want to have a pasta maker,
Don't mess up.
No, pasta party. No, you need a pasta drying rack, which is a thing. We were using our forearms. You could also use a coat hanger. I thought of that as well. Make sure your coat hanger is clean, of course. But yeah, you could also just hang it on a coat hanger.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah, you need to separate the noodles, otherwise they clump.
Yeah, so we ended up clumping them all together, and so we actually had to make it twice. But then the second time, effectively, we made it, we then had pots of water boiling. So every time we ran some through, we popped it directly into boiling water, and it took about 3 to 5 minutes for that pasta to cook in the boiling water, which was about enough time as it took us to then make the next batch and then repress it. So we almost had this conveyor belt going on where people were getting their noodles, putting them in the water, getting the noodles, putting them in the water, taking it out. And then we had a couple fresh sauces that we made too. So people had to have fresh sauces. And yeah, it was amazing. The pasta was so good. And everyone liked it. We had kids. Yeah, Zach, you were the youngest. Up until us old people. There were some teenagers there. There were like friends of friends there. So
there was 11 people, and we fed all of them.
Yeah, and we only fed them on like 2 or 3 pounds of pasta. It was like 6 cups of flour, or 8 cups of flour. Like it was not that much to make a whole bunch of incredibly good pasta.
Plus all the mess ups.
I smell Christmas dinner.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we got to do it.
So we have a Christmas pasta making party?
I think we got to do it. Yes. What do you think, Zach?
I'm okay with it as long as I get my chocolate Krispy Kreme donuts in the morning.
Okay, we'll still do donuts on the grill, obviously, because what else we do Christmas sauce?
No.
So, as we almost time to wrap this up here. So we had these we had sauces, we had the fresh pasta, we also made some bread. It was a really good feast.
And the greatest cake of all time.
Should we give a shout out?
Sheet cake.
Should we give a shout out? Should we give a shout out to Mr. Justin's sheet cake?
Yes.
All right, so we're going to say shout out to Justin in 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Justin!
You have really good cake. You have really good cake.
So Mr. Justin makes a Texas sheet cake is what he calls it whenever we get together. And
no, just good sheet cake.
He says it's very basic. I don't know what magic, what extra love he puts into it. But it's very special. It's incredible.
It's his thing. It's what he does. Anytime we have a gathering, he makes a sheet cake.
Texas sheet cake with the caramel sauce.
Oh, yeah, with the caramel. So sometimes he puts icing on it, and that's just dumb because no one likes icing.
I like icing.
No, icing's awful. But
wrong.
Sometimes he leaves it empty just for me and now for you, and you serve that with caramel, and
Yeah, it's kind of good.
It's good.
Just a little.
All right. So he actually, when we were there, he was talking about one of our previous episodes. So obviously he listens. So this will be a nice little surprise for him. But we'll tag him in that episode so we can make sure he's paying attention. Sounds good.
Sounds fantastic.
All right. I think we're good then, Zach. Anything else from you?
I held the microphone this entire episode, and it sounded pretty good. So if there's any errors, then
blame someone else.
Yeah, blame somebody else.
We'll have our audio engineer Anthony tell us if there's any errors.
Yeah, but I think I did pretty well.
I'm impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, don't just be awesome.
Be bodaciously awesome. Bye.
We'll talk to y'all next week. Bye.
That cheesecake was so good.